This is VK7 OTC, the club station of the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania. Amateur radio is a worldwide hobby that has many different aspects. Digital television is just one of the many modes and areas that are covered. Maybe you're interested in becoming involved in the DATV Experimenters Nights. You realise that you do not have to be a radio amateur or need any ATV equipment to participate anywhere in the world. Also participate in the night by coming up to the Queen's Domain club rooms. Yes, right on top of the Queen's Domain in the heritage-listed Coast Wireless Station. You never know, we might get you in front of the camera or behind doing one of the many roles during the night. We get underway with our program on a Wednesday night from 7:30 p.m. local time. We'll see you soon. This is VK7 OTC.
We are live, and this is VK7 OTC, the club station of the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania, with our DATV Experimenters Night. And I've got Murray, VK7 ZMS, in the studio. Hello, Murray.
Good evening.
How you going?
Good.
Excellent. Now, just an acknowledgement of country. In recognition of the deep history and culture of this island, we'd like to acknowledge and pay our respects to all Tasmanian Aboriginal people, the traditional owners of the land upon which we are presenting tonight. Now, the reason I've got Murray in the studio is we have the Spring VHF, UHF and above Field Day at the end of November.
Yes, coming up.
And I understand you're trekking up to your usual
Planning
location.
to trek to our usual spot, yes, with ZBX, almost on the top of Mount Wellington. Really keen for a few people to be about to make some contacts, especially some long distance ones would be good. So anyone watching up the north of the state, we'll be beaming north on 276 and 23 centimetres, and by arrangement on
2.4,
3.4, and 10 gigs. So I think we've got nearly all the bands, all the VHF bands covered.
Okay. And are you welcoming people who want to come up and see the impressive?
People are welcome to stop by. If the day is cold, windy, and rainy, there's not much room in the van. But if it's a pleasant day.
Just doing expectation management here.
That's it. If it's a nice day, might absolutely drop by and say good day. You absolutely can't miss the van on the side of the road.
Correct. And all of the tower and everything, that's because you have a very nice.
We should have a photo, but I don't know that I've actually got one at the.
Okay.
At the ready.
Okay. Is because it's this particular van actually was purpose built, wasn't it?
Yes, not for what we're doing, but close enough. It was an outdoor broadcast van, ex-ABC, and it has about a 9-metre telescopic mast that goes up pneumatically.
Wow.
And we have...
So it's got a little hydraulic pump or something?
No, it's pneumatic.
Oh, okay.
It's air operated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It actually has 2 pumps in the van, which are very noisy.
Right.
And we tend to run a compressor about 20 metres up the hill. from the generator, and it just makes it all that more pleasant inside.
Lovely. Yes, yes. What's that noise? Oh, it's just the generator. Yes.
No, it's just
the pump.
Just a compressor, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's excellent. Now, this is the 26th and 27th of November. I think I'm right there. And I assume it'll be mostly Saturday, or you're thinking of going Sunday? Or
the main thrust will be Saturday.
Okay.
We may or may not reconvene on the Sunday.
Okay.
But Saturdays are definite, yeah. So
Excellent.
we always do the 8 hour, and then sometimes we get a bit keen and add a few contacts on the Sunday, but we'll see.
And I understand you've made some improvements so that it is easier to disassemble the station.
Yes, with
gloves on and stuff.
Yeah, so we have the Yagis permanently mounted to the mast now, so we don't have to pull them off and put them on. Okay. And we have brackets mounted to the roof rack that they saddle on. So literally now we just you turn up, you open the valve, and as it comes down, you make sure the coax doesn't tangle, and you line it up so that it's straight, and then off you drive.
And bolt it down or tie it off or whatever, and
no, just off you drive, because it's bolted to the mast, and it sits down in the
the
brackets
in the saddle or whatever. Yeah,
and that's quite fine.
Hey, that's very impressive.
We hope that's for 270.
Okay.
2.4, 3.4 are mounted on the side.
Okay.
We've got some quick release mechanisms there.
Okay.
So they come off pretty quick.
Cool.
10 gigs are still on the ground on a tripod.
Understand that.
And 6 metres we've never really had.
Okay.
So we're actually tomorrow in Hobart is a public holiday for show day.
It is.
Possibly the silliest public holiday on the calendar.
No, definitely not, because every so often, every couple of years, it occurs on my birthday.
Roger that.
So it's perfect. It's perfect.
And so we're taking the opportunity to build a 6 metre Moxon for the van.
Nice.
And the reason for that is because of the size of a Moxon, we can actually fit it on top of the van, and again, we don't have to take it off the mast.
Right.
So there's no disassembly, reassembly.
Yeah, okay.
Not quite sure how the supporting bracketry is going to work for that one yet.
Yeah.
Because it will be...
That gap on each side of the Moxon's pretty critical. You need to maintain that gap somehow.
No, they'll be with spacers.
Yeah.
No, the challenge is that we've already got a 70 centimetre and then a 2 metre Yagi. And the 6 metre will be on top of that. Right. And we need to make brackets on the roof of the vehicle that pick that up and give it some support while it's being driven.
Okay. Yeah. Rapid deployment. I love it.
Yeah. Well, it's not so much about rapid deployment, it's just this is about not freezing during the winter field day.
And if you haven't picked up Hayden, VK7HH's Ham Radio DX video on the winter field day, I absolutely love how he finishes that video, because he gets in the car and that's his statement about amateurs are crazy, and he has such a red nose. Cold red nose.
I believe he was very cold that day.
So yes, his very true statements that he says.
No. And we don't do that anymore. We have a generator and a heater in the van.
That is outrageous.
Look, it might seem outrageous, but last
freezing,
time we used it in anger, because the last couple of times we've been up there, it's just been a beautiful day. We haven't had the heater on. It's just been beautiful and sunny. Okay. But about 3, maybe 4 field days ago, we had a real cold one, and it was so cold that we were huddling in the van for 10 minutes at a time, going outside, doing 3 minutes of work, huddling in the van for like another 10 minutes, because it was, I think it was around about 1 degree, but it was blowing...
chill factor was?
A gale.
Yeah, okay.
And, it was really rocking the van by the time we packed up. It was blowing really heavy. So, the chill factor was significant. I don't know what it was, but...
Yeah.
It was so cold that I went, we probably should have some redundancy in this heater, because if that fails, we're not getting packed up.
Yeah. Okay. Talking about chill factors, I happened to look. Warren down at Casey Station let me know that there was a blizzard on its way. So I purposely looked at the Bureau of Meteorology, and can I just say I'm saying the Bureau of Meteorology because they've spent something like about $200,000 stopping people saying the bomb. Because they don't want people to call them the bomb. So it's the Bureau of Meteorology. Okay. And they have a wonderful page which has got not only the Australian stations but also quite a number of the non-Australian stations that I think they transmit weather data for.
Oh, yep.
And Casey Station at the time of this particular blizzard, and Warren let me know that there was consistently winds over 160 kilometres an hour, and in fact peaking at 190 kilometres an hour.
Yep.
But the chill factor was it was the temperature actually was like minus 20 or something. But the chill factor, then the apparent temperature was like minus 48 or something like that, which is just it's just ridiculous. So yeah,
it wasn't that bad where we were, but it was bad enough that
Well, if you look at the temperatures, it's always 5, 6, maybe 10 degrees less up there.
Yeah. We've had the last couple of field days. We've just had really, really good runs.
Okay.
The last one we did up there, it was maybe 4 degrees in the morning, but it was still perfectly still, like absolute still, and the sun was shining. And it probably got up to 10 degrees by the end of the day. But again, there was no wind all day, and it was really, inside the glass. You didn't have to run the heat. It was
fine.
Where the door cracked open because it was, we're trying to keep cool.
Okay.
No, that was really good.
Well, there you go. So fantastic. So winter. It's not winter. I keep thinking winter. Spring. VHF UHF Field Day, end of November, and have a look at the broadcast because there is a whole great big list of the frequencies that we're suggesting.
Okay.
Or at least to start with. So they're not mandated frequencies. They're just start here, and if you get somebody, fantastic. If not, try calling frequency or somewhere else.
Well, for the first time, we will be we're attempting some 6 metre contacts. I've had 6 metre contacts on field days before.
Yes.
On very primitive gear. In fact, one of my favourites was to I think Townsville from Mount Wellington.
Yep.
And I was running the quarter wave, the 5/8 2 metre antenna as a quarter wave on 6 metre on the bull bar into my
vertical.
Yes, into my
omnidirectional.
Into my 818 running a nominally 6 watts.
That's pretty impressive.
I was happy with that.
That's very impressive. And they were probably running a Yagi at the other end, and
I
a decent
have
amount
no
of power.
idea. They faded up, and we talked really quickly, made the contact, and then they disappeared.
I love it. The Magic Band. That's what it's called, the Magic Band.
But for the first time, we'll actually be having a crack at it. So we've got a little bit of direction, bit of slight bit of gain, and horizontally polarised, and maybe 100 watts instead of 5.
The ionospheric gods work in our favour.
Yeah.
That Hepburn chart is looking better and better. I keep looking at it. In fact, I look at that at the same time that I look at the temperatures, because they're on the browser.
And look, I believe we'll be having a mini field day on the 29th of October too.
Yes, there are a number of people coming down for the conference and Expo, which we're doing a promo on a bit later.
Sure.
A bit later.
But rumour has it some VK3s coming back to try and work back to Australia.
Yep, that's right.
And we thought we might trundle up to Mount Wellington and see if we could
get them off the back of the beam.
That's it. Yeah, we'll see.
Fantastic. Thank you, Murray.
Righto.
That is excellent. And good luck in the field day.
Thank you.
Cheers. All right, this is VK7 OTC, your phone. Your phone. And this is the Digital Amateur Television Experimenters Night. And now, what we actually have, and I've got a... Let me just go to here. Now, for those who follow the broadcast, the VK7 amateur radio broadcast on a Sunday morning and then repeated on a Tuesday, Oh, and hello to Anthony, VK7AG from Blackman's Bay. Greetings from to Blackman's Bay. We have featured over the last few weeks a few little articles about the possibility that we will be having our centenary next year. And the centenary I'm talking about is the centenary of the VK7 Wireless Institute of Australia's VK7 division centenary. Now, Linda, VK7QP, came across a wonderful Trove article about the meetings that were occurring in 1923, and also we then extended that through some information from Phil Corby, VK7ZAX, over in Scamander, who sent some information to us, and we actually dug out the April 1973 article written by the late Lon Jensen, who was VK7LJ, and this was on the Golden Jubilee of the VK7 Tasmania division. So this was the 50th anniversary. And it absolutely fascinating read, and I'm actually including some of the detail in here in future broadcasts. So we'll include. We won't do some spoilers in here. I'll just zoom in a little bit here because there is some wonderful pictures in here. LJ Crooks, VK7BQ, who at the time was the patron of the Tasmanian division, first licensed in 1925. And then there is a absolutely wonderful photo here. A group of VK7 old-timers with dates of their being originally licensed, and from left to right, so this is Chaz Harrison, VK7CH, licensed first in 1927. This is Jack Batchelor, VK7JB, first licensed 1932, and was also married to VK7YL, Joy Batchelor. Now, R.D. O'May, I think that was Robert, but I'm not sure. VK7OM, 1923. Crosby Walsh, over here, VK7CW, 1926. In the middle, J.C. Milne, VK7AG, 1921. And then the late Lon Jensen over here, who actually wrote this article, VK7LJ, who was first licensed in 1925. So, and so there's some fantastic information in that particular article that we will be using. The bottom line is it is quite safe for us to say we were actually licensed in. We were actually first incorporated. It actually wasn't incorporation. We were actually actually formed up as a company. Now let me just. Now, I just before this started, I took a photo of our Wireless Institute of Australia Tasmanian Division honour roll. Now, right up here, it's a bit hard to tell the dates on here, but right up here, we've got 1925. Now, it was actually formed before 1925 in June 1923, and there was a bit of toing and froing between Launceston and Hobart at that particular point, which this article goes into. And then this goes all the way through to 2004, which is down here. And 2004, it was unincorporated, or whatever the legal term is. And that's when we became a truly national WIA, and all of those divisions were then incorporated into one particular entity, which has become the Wireless Institute of Australia that we know and love now. So, fantastic article. We'll be featuring bits of this in the broadcast over the next few broadcasts. So, and there's some fantastic names in there that we'll be highlighting on the way through. But June 1923, June 2023 is going to be lots of centenary celebrations, special call sign operation, and all sorts of things to highlight the fact that the WIA Tasmanian Division turns 100 in June 2023. So there you go. Now, as some people know, I'm a bit of a collector of Morse code keys, and that was supposed to be focus. That's a bit better. Now, I've got a bit of a few interesting Morse code keys from my collection. Very much a European theme tonight. And this very cute, very, very cute, and very, very nicely designed. Let's zoom out there a little bit. Very, very cute. This is a French Dyna Manitone. So beautiful Bakelite key. We're talking probably this would be around about we think about the 1950s, 1960s. These were produced from 1940 through to 1977, and produced out of Paris by A.Chabot. And this is the Manitone, and you can see, I don't know whether you can pick up, you may, there we go, on the underneath the key is Manitone, and there's a wonderful, this is the how are we going to do this? Let's try that. No, can't see that either. There's a little circuit on the back rubber mounting plate, which is fascinating, and Dyna France on the tone. These are the spring adjustment and the gap adjustment on here. Beautiful operation and beautiful feel for this particular key. But this is French key, so made in Paris, and one of my collection. Now let's move to Denmark. So now we're going to have to zoom out here because this is a slightly bigger key. This is called the Great Northern Telegraph Works in Copenhagen, Denmark, and these are not rare keys at all. There's quite a few of these around, but this is made, one of the few keys which is actually made in Denmark. There's a little tag on the end, the Great Northern Telegraph Works, Copenhagen, Denmark, and a serial number. Interesting, this is the spring tension, and then there is a gap arrangement on a little screw underneath the lever here. Quite a nice feeling key. This is the top, and I actually happen to have another one that I got hold of somewhere, and it's not mounted, so you can actually see the mechanism under here. Oh, sorry, that's the spring tension, so that would be the gap. That's the gap, and that's the spring tension. I had them around the wrong way. So very nicely made, all cast in this case plastic. We're talking about probably 1970s round for this particular key. And it was actually sold. You can see on the side here. This is an AWA sticker on here. So the AWA organisation, Australian Wireless Associated Wireless Australia, sold these keys at some particular point, and this has got the government symbol on it. So this was used in maybe a post office or something along those key lines. But anyway, Copenhagen, it's a Danish key from the Royal Telegraph Works in Copenhagen. I've got a couple of those. Now let's head to Germany. This particular key, very sturdily made on a steel plate, so it's very heavy. Definitely wouldn't wander around the desk when you're using it. It comes with a cover. And on a spring, you can open this up. Again, there is spring tension and also gap here. that you can adjust. Beautiful field key. This is typical sort of German engineering. It's got a fantastic feel to it. This particular key, it's called a Junker Honnef Key. It was made in Honnef, Bad Honnef, and suggest it was made for quite a long time, from 1926 to 1939, and obviously into World War II, 1946, and the fact that this is a grey one, a grey hematone one, says that this particular key is probably of a civil, what they call civil type, which is probably a post office key or something along those lines. So, so a Junker's key. It's got a oh bugger! I just dropped the mouse again. I really do need to put that on a chain. It's got some anti-slip arrangements. That is a 1/4-inch plate that it's sitting on of solid steel, so it's certainly not going anywhere when you actually operate it. And yeah, so we had a French key, a Danish key, and a German key. So a few interesting keys from the collection of VK7TW. So yeah, and can I just say, this is a very, very small little sample of the sort of keys that are out there, because there are literally thousands of them, and there's some world-class collectors out there. I've actually got a couple of CDs. So that's how long ago this is. A couple of CDs from these collectors which is documenting all of their collection, and some of their collections are absolutely out off the show. They have thousands and thousands of keys from all over the world, and all different types, and iambic keys and paddles and all sorts of things. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. And some of them quite historic. I've got a couple of keys that I'm really, really proud of. And one of them I bought in a couple of weeks ago. The old Overland Telegraph type key that was used in the early post office. So that particular key I'm very fond of. So anyway. Morse code and keys and different sorts from specifically Europe. Now, it would be remiss of me not to mention the Tasmanian Ham Radio Conference and Expo, and it occurs on the 5th and 6th of November, which is only a couple of weeks away, only a couple of weekends away. The 5th is the Tasmanian Ham Conference, Ham Radio Conference. Some of the presentations are now up on the website. Pretty much we've almost finalised those. We start off with the Hows and Whys of Youth Engagement with Steve Goodame, who is K5ATA, and Steve will be coming in via Zoom. It'll be an online presentation. He's coming in from the States. Remote station operation with Scott Williams, VK3KJ, who's currently president of WIA. We've got electrical safety from a medical, not engineering perspective from Dr. Kevin, VK4UH, who's also hope to work Kevin in the field day. He's a mad keen meteor scatter person and VHF and above microwave person. We've got Paul Simmons, VK5PAS, giving us a talk on worldwide flora and fauna. We've got Ian Jackson, VK3BUF, on interference mitigation. That's the QRM guru person. Low power portable EME with Wayne Jackson. Wayne Pearson. Sorry, it's Ian Jackson. Wayne Pearson, VK5APN. Sorry, Alpha Papa November. Adam K6ARK from the States. This is another online presentation on QRP SOTA builds via Zoom. 122, 134 gigahertz developments with David Minchin, VK5KK, and David's also contributing to one of the raffle prizes. G.A. Taylor a humorous look at a VK amateur radio giant with Roger VK2ZRH. DATV developments with Peter Cousins in VK, VK3BFG, and I finish off on the day with ideas on how to use your club for amateur radio promotion from yours truly. Then we head into the 6th of November, which is the Sunday, from 9 to 5 at the Expo. Now, the big news, the big news is ICOM are debuting the IC905 in VK at the Expo. So come along to the Expo and you'll be able to see the IC905 in the flesh working, and you'll be able to talk to Hero, who is the ICOM engineer who's coming down with that particular equipment. ICOM are also bringing a whole range of amateur transceivers with them as well, so you can actually see them in the flesh as well. Now, the vendors who are coming down, there's obviously ICOM, All About DX. Now, All About DX will actually have one of their hex beam antennas assembled in the middle of the Expo location, the Expo hall, which is the Studio Theatre, which is just next to the Stanley Burberry. We've got Alara who'll be there, DX Systems, JCAR have confirmed that they're going to be there as well over the last couple of days. NTARC, Northern Tasmanian Amateur Radio Club, will have a stand. Radio and Electronics Association will have a stand. There's a Rotarians of Amateur Radio stand there. Spook Tech will be there. Now, we've bought lots of grid dishes from Spook Tech, as well as the feeds, the 2.4, 3.4 and 23 centimetre feeds for those dishes. So there'll be a Summits on the Air stand there. There'll be a Volunteer Examiners Australia stand there, a Wallace Institute stand, a Worldwide Flora and Fauna stand, and many pre-loved tables. And at this stage I think there's 4 or 5 who are booked in for pre-loved tables, so should be huge as well. Redistributing the treasure, I think, is how I put it in the broadcast. Now, raffle prizes. Now, I'll just say, the only way you can get a raffle ticket is if you come along to the conference and or expo. You have a raffle ticket included in your booking, but that's the only way that you can get a raffle ticket. You can buy extra raffle tickets on the day, but the only way you can get a raffle ticket to start with is to book for either the conference or the expo. Now, we have an IC705 from ICOM and a backpack up for grabs. Rig Expert AA650 Zoom antenna analyzer from RF Solutions. A $250 voucher from TET Mtron. A Nano VNA from Ham Radio DX. We've got a 250 watt LCD power SWR kit for the VK7 JST kit from yours truly, and also a Diamond Super Gainer SG7200 2 and 70 centimeter mobile antenna. David mentioned VK5KK full 122 gig transceiver up for grabs in the raffle. We've got some Yaesu merch. We've got some beautiful handmade pens from Rick, VK7RI, up on the northwest coast. WIA Foundation License Manual from the WIA. The Australian Ham Radio Handbook from Peter Parker, VK3YE. We've got cables from NTARC, and I have no doubt by the time we get to the actual day, we'll have even more on the raffle prize. So, huge raffle pool. And you have to come along to get a ticket, or 2 or 3. So, and there's huge numbers coming down. We're well over 135, I think, who have booked to come down, including all states in Australia and also quite a number from New Zealand. So they're all coming across as well. So 5th and 6th of November, we are having a barbecue up here on the 4th, the Friday the 4th evening. We're just about to go out with some communication to those that are coming along to the conference and expo to invite them up to the barbecue up here, and on the Friday night, just as a bit of a social event. A couple of bucks for a snag or 3, and there you go. So 5th and 6th of November. Now, if you haven't booked, you have until the 31st of October to book. After the 31st of October, we are not taking any more bookings for the conference or the expo. So it is so that we can organise lanyards and organise all sorts of things leading up to show bags and whatever else for people. So the 31st of October is the cut-off for registrations at the conference and or expo. So please, please, please go to the Reast website, reast.asn.au, and go to the link for the Tassie Ham Radio Conference and Expo. So that is our show for tonight. So we've got a little bit of a short show. We're just doing some clean up in the club rooms in preparation for the show. So there you go. And Anthony, woohoo! Can't wait. I love it. Love it. It's going to be fantastic. So and we've got a fantastic number of volunteers from Reast who are helping us out on those days, making sure everything runs smoothly and everybody has a great experience. So a huge thank you to those people who put their hands up. So there you go. So that's our DATV Experimenters Night for tonight, and we'll have another show next week, same time, same bat channel, and we will get underway from around about 7:30. Sorry to slightly late start today. We were talking too much, weren't we, about the field day and antennas and all sorts of things, all the stuff that amateurs like to do. Anyway, all right, this is VK7 OTC, Club Station of the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania with our DATV Experimenters Night and 73, and we'll catch you in a week's time. So, cheers.